WildCat Guitars presents Guitar Talk. You're talking guitars with Doug Diamond. How about that?
How about that?
Hey, Madison Roy.
What's up?
First off, we've seen your work on a lot of Fender custom shop stuff, real vibrant, real unique, and wondering which artists inspired you to begin painting?
Growing up, I used to watch Bob Ross like every single day with my Nana, and she used to paint before I was born, so she would paint with me, and we would watch Bob Ross every day, and she would draw little dolls for me, and I would make paper dolls and stuff, so I guess I would say Nana and Bob Ross.
Nice. And when did you decide to start painting guitars officially?
I don't think I ever really decided. I think it just happened. I didn't mean for it to become my job with Fender. I was just like, I was living in Hawaii and I was painting ukuleles for my friends. Everybody has a ukulele in Hawaii, and they're small and they're quick canvases, and they're not super expensive usually, so it was kind of like a fun way to like break into that. And I was just like, I love music, I play ukuleles, so I started, I painted mine first, and then I started painting guitars after that.
Right on. And you had mentioned before something about your grandfather's passing that inspired you to actually to go to Hawaii in the first place, correct?
Yeah, I was very close with Papa, Nana and Papa growing up, like very, very close with them. And he passed away in 2013, and it really like rocked me. And I didn't really know what to do after, but I knew that what I was doing wasn't working for me. So I was in school as an art major, and I wasn't feeling like loved or appreciated by like anyone in my program, and it was making me dislike art, and I didn't like that feeling. And I had a friend who was living in Hawaii, and she was feeling homesick, and she said that if I wanted to, I could move in with her. So I withdrew from all my classes, dropped out of school, and moved to Hawaii. Yeah.
So you found a lot of inspiration then out on the beach, sunsets, all that stuff?
Yes. So I didn't have a job while I was there. I had saved up a bunch of money before I went. And when my friend was at work, I would just go to the beach by myself, and I would like bring my sketchbook and draw. I use Prismacolors a lot. They're super vibrant. They're colored pencils. They're really vibrant. I can get the colors that I like, and they're a lot more like travel friendly. So I started by doing that, and then one day I was like, you know what, I'm just going to bring my paint. I don't know if that's going to be a bad idea with the sand and whatever. But I was painting on the beach, and I was there for sunset, and I just like painted like a Technicolor psychedelic waves sunset painting while I was there, and it was just like a really great day, and it felt really good to get back into just like being happy about my art and not wondering if it was good enough for anybody else. So that was like a huge thing for me. Like I felt like emotionally, creatively, spiritually, I just like reconnected with myself when I was in Hawaii.
Right on. Now describe this chance meeting that ultimately led you to become one of the prominent guitar painters in the Fender custom shop.
So my mom lived next door to Joe and Laura Reynoso, and I was walking to the mailbox one day, and I had hot pink hair, and my mom obviously hated my hot pink hair. She was like, I don't like it, you should dye it back. And I was like, I love it, I'm keeping it forever. So I was walking to the mailbox, and Laura pulled over and was like, are you Nicole's daughter? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, my girls are in the back seat, and they made me pull over because they want to tell you how much they love your hair. And I was like, oh, thank you. And, like that was just super validating for me. I love when people compliment me about things that my mother disproves of. So Laura was like, yeah, the girls are like kind of picky, and they don't actually really like everyone. I don't know if you like to babysit or whatever, but like they would love it if you would be their babysitter. And I had like left a nanny job in Ohio before I was moving. So like I love kids. I've always been a babysitter and a nanny. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. Like I could do that while I'm in Phoenix. but I never met Joe, and they never talked about Joe, and I never asked what he did. He was just like, he was traveling for work. So then I moved to Hawaii after that, and the girls like made an Instagram, and they were following me, and they showed Joe like the ukuleles and the guitars that I was painting, and I like randomly got an email from him, and he's like, hey, this is Laura's husband Joe. I don't know if you know what I do for a living, but I'm the director of Fender Custom Shop. And he was like, we're having some turnover right now with artists, and we're looking for some new people, and we don't have any art like yours, and I think it'd be fun to do just a run of 10. And this was in, I think I signed my contract with them in 2014. And so I had a contract for 5 Kellys and 5 Strats, and that was just like it. That's all I was expecting to do. So I was like, wow, opportunity of a lifetime. This is amazing. So of course I said yes. I was super thrilled, so excited to do it. And then I was kind of just like, oh, awesome to have that on my resume. Now I can go on and do whatever else I want. And I just kind of thought it was going to be like a one-off, like I wasn't going to get to do it anymore. And then I had been working, all of those 10 guitars were with Greg Sessler. And he emailed me and was like, I love your work, and I would like to keep working with you if you're interested. So he just kept sending me buys. And that's like how it happened, I guess.
That's killer.
Yeah.
So you went from using Sharpies on ukuleles to being one of the top artists at the Fender Custom Shop.
Yeah. It's wild. I always wonder, like, if I hadn't been painting the ukuleles, if the girls would have thought to show Joe. It's kind of crazy how it all happened. Like, the girls probably wouldn't have talked to me if I didn't have pink hair, and like they probably wouldn't have shown him that I'm an artist, because the connection wouldn't have occurred to the little girls to show it to him. So it's pretty like serendipitous how it happened. It's like really cool.
Yeah, seriously. So what is your ideal art creation day like, from the morning you get up to when you call it a day?
So I have a ton of different art interests. Like, painting is my main thing, but I also, like, my heart is just, like, so invested in fiber arts. I've been crocheting since I was 6, and I've been knitting since I was 5. So, like, my entire life, I love to make things with my hands. Like, I'm a creator. So, and I'm like a little scatterbrained, kind of. Like, my attention span is pretty short. So I'll paint for 5 hours at most in a day, like, unless I'm really, really like working towards a deadline. I like to just paint when I feel like it. I don't want to rush it or push it. So I'll take a break, and I'll like crochet something. I make a lot of clothes, and I write patterns, so like I do that a lot. And I also like I said, I play ukulele, and I quote unquote play guitar. I'm not very good, but so like I practice guitar and I do that sometimes. So yeah, I like to go where my mind takes me. I don't like to have a set plan. So I hop between a lot of activities.
Nice. And then I guess you also do some kind of a class, a crochet class?
Yeah, so I'm in a knitting group. I moved to New Orleans, and I was here for a year, and I didn't like know that many people, and then I left for 7 months and moved to LA. And then I was like, I really miss New Orleans. I think that's the place for me. So I decided to move back after 7 months. And when I moved back, I was like, I'm going to really try to get involved in like a community that I think would be like emotionally nourishing for me. So I joined a Facebook group called Free Stuff to Do in New Orleans, and they just post like, and anyone can post about free events that are going on in the city. And somebody posted one day that they had a knitting group, and they knit scarves for people suffering from homelessness in New Orleans in the winter. And they met every Wednesday at Bayou Beer Garden, and I was like, wow, that sounds right up my alley. I would love that. So I went, and like the first meeting, I was just like overwhelmed with comfort. Like I just felt like I really like found my people. So I've been in that group for 2 years now, and it was started by a girl who didn't even know how to knit. She taught herself how to knit so she could do this. And then she moved to Lafayette, so she left the group to me because we didn't want it to end. So now I'm like, I guess I'm kind of in charge of it now. But I love like having new people who don't know how to knit or crochet, and like I don't even know how many people I've taught how to knit, but it's really cool, and it's like fun for people who think that they don't have a creative talent, and then I'm like, well, I can teach you one. And it's really cool like to see them get excited about fiber arts and like making something with their hands.
Right on. So New Orleans, what's your favorite thing about New Orleans?
Oh my gosh, where do I start? The food is amazing. Everything. Like, I was a vegetarian when I moved here, and that didn't last long. I was like, oh, crawfish, shrimp, everything. So the food really won me over. There's music everywhere. Any night of the week, I can find any genre of music that I'm into. And, like, I love dive bars that just have like a solo musician playing like guitar or piano. And I love that I can just go to a bar and find like an amazingly talented musician, like that you would never expect to be just playing at this little dive bar. So I love that. I love how many artistic people are in the city. Like everyone is chasing after their dreams. And I don't know, it's just like it's a melting pot for like weirdos and creatives. And I really like that. And it's like a really nurturing space for me because everybody inspires me. And like a lot of my friends are in bands and they're just really like working towards like finding their success. And I love it.
Nice. And finally, please describe Indigo Madness.
Yes. I feel like I'm an indigo child. I haven't like explored it very much in the past few years, but when I created this name or like nickname for myself, I guess, it was like 8 years ago, I think, or maybe it was 9, I think it was in 2010. I was like doing a bunch of research about star seeds and indigo children that I don't know if I really relate to as much anymore. Maybe I do. But I also like love the name Indigo for a person, and like I wish that my real name was Indigo instead of Madison. So like that's how the Indigo part happened. And my sister's friend Alicia used to call me Madness as a nickname instead of like Maddie. And I thought that was really cute. So I like started an Etsy shop, and you need to pick a name and you're not allowed to change it. Like I don't know why they do that, but like once you pick your name, that's just, it's set. And you either have to open a new shop or you're just stuck with that name. So I named it Indigo Madness for the Gypsy Dreamers. And yeah, so it just stuck, and I feel like it's a good fit. I feel like it describes my art well. Like it has like a psychedelic, trippy, vibey feel.
Right on. And if people want to get a look at your stuff, where do you advise them to go?
I use my Instagram primarily, so it's just at Indigo Madness. I have an Etsy shop, but I don't have much of my art on there for sale. So definitely I use Instagram the most. It's like a super versatile platform, and I really like it.
Absolutely. And you can check out Madison's stuff on WildCatGuitars.com. Got some great stuff and more stuff coming. Last thing I guess would be describe Sunflake, the inspiration thereof, and all that good stuff.
So I've kind of always had this fear of red, the color red. I use a lot of like blues and turquoise and violet. I really like cool colors, and I've always been kind of intimidated by red because it seems like such a loud color. Like it feels like it has a lot to say. And I that's the first guitar I've ever used red on, and that was like my goal. So I usually do like pretty organic, like rounded, softer shaped mandalas, and I think that goes really well with the cool colors. So I wanted to challenge myself and use red on a guitar, and I'm so glad that I did because I ended up loving it. And like that's the only like completely warm color painting I've ever done. So that was really cool. And to me, like red and yellow are a little bit more aggressive. So that's kind of how that one ended up with like the pointed geometric mandala instead of like the floral organic shapes I usually do.
Beautiful. Somebody turns up in New Orleans and you're going to take them out for the first time they've been there. Which restaurant do you go to first and why?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I like po' boy shops, and I would take somebody to Parkway Po' Boy and get a shrimp po' boy.
Ha, right on.
Mm-hmm.
And what would be your favorite drink or beer with that po' boy?
I like Jucifer by Gnarly Barley. But my favorite local brewery is Urban South. I love everything they make. They have like a really good selection. Like a lot of breweries, I feel like make too many IPAs, and I think that they need to reevaluate. But Urban South has like really great light beers like Paradise Park and the Houdat beer, which is like their St. New Orleans beer, which I love. It's just like it's a golden ale. Those are like super great, easy to drink, but they also have like a cucumber lime goes, which is like a sour, and I love that for summer. It's so good. So I would take somebody probably there. They have like a really cool warehouse on Chapatula Street, and they have like cornhole and pool and arcade games, and they have like big picnic tables, and they do a bunch of events there. Like they'll do like art parties and art markets and stuff, which is really cool. I like it a lot.
Madison Roy, thank you very much for letting us into your Indigo Madness world. Really appreciate it here on Guitar Talk.
Thank you so much for talking to me. I've had so much fun.
Right on. Looking forward to the future.
Awesome.
Rock on. Thanks again.
Bye.